When the money goes, will the honey stay? When the gray skies replace the sunny days. Yeah. And this is going to be a lot of people. When he was down on his luck, or should I say when he was down bad, his girlfriend ran off with somebody else. And now that he came up, she's back. Let's see what happens. And shout out to All Asian Dilemmas once more.
你走，你们这两个男人，
我不走，
走什么走？
我不走。
I'm not going.
不要再来我家
没有要我钱，你走不了。
结分手费。
还想要分手费？你想多了点。你们看啊，就这两个，这个女的，
你拍什么拍啊？
当初
有话你就好好说，你不要拍
当
下来。
我落魄的时候啊，我公司倒闭的时候，你呢跟他跑了，你现在回来干什么？
那时候你日子都过不下去了，你还要带我一起跟你过
日子过不下去，我们可以一起努力。
All we do is fight over money. There ain't no love. Love is gone when the money go. This is gonna be a lot of y'all. Does she really love you? You in love with her, but she don't love you like that. All it takes is one bad day. Done. This is why every man should have a rotation. You gave up everything for one girl. And when she go, you have nothing. Versus for her, she had her rotation the whole time. You can't keep all your eggs in one basket.
我们可以再把生活变好，那你直接就走了
变好什么
你还跟他走了？
有什么变好？公司都倒闭了，
就是吧
人家都跟了你6、7年，跟着什么？
跟我
跟了个屁
6、7年
啊！，
那我
People really still fighting over people now? This is sad. What part of the game is this? Ah, man, you guys don't ever be in this position to where you arguing with who will be better off with who. What the kind of shit? Nah.
公司没倒闭之前，我对他不好吗？啊？
对他
是
不好。
但是你倒闭，你看生活费什么的，我得去赚钱吧，对吧？我不可能跟你一天
You gotta make
天天
money.
就吃泡面。
In a quiet neighborhood house, a tense scene unfolds, feeling more like a movie script than the reality of a man already tired of life. Clearly irritated, he faces his ex-wife and her companion, who doesn't seem the least bit embarrassed. Get out of here, he shouts, his voice filled with bitterness, as if he's run out of patience for even a hint of consideration. The story that unfolds is a mix of betrayal, opportunism, and a
If this was in the West, it'd have been gunplay and less talking. That's all I gotta say. At least where I'm from. It would have been no arguing. A bullet would have replaced the arguing. I mean, I'm not saying not where I live now. I mean, there might be some arguing, but they might do some shit in the house, but yeah.
level of irony that's almost too perfect. Years ago, when his business collapsed and he lost everything, his wife didn't hesitate. She abandoned him without a second thought and ran off with another man. And
Exit, stage left.
him? Well, he stayed there, surviving on instant noodles without even a stale piece of bread to eat. While he
Whoa.
sank deeper into misery, she moved on with a shamelessness as if she'd never had any commitment. Now, years later, after he's managed to get back on his feet buying a new house, a car, and even a bit of dignity, she reappears. And no, it's not for love, nor remorse, nor
Well, my question is, how did she find out that he got back on his feet in the first place? Somebody was running their mouth. That's what it sounded like.
nostalgia. No, she comes back for one simple, very clear thing: money, a separation fee, she says. Nothing more, nothing less than $5,000 in compensation for a marriage she abandoned herself, without a second glance at what he was going through. By her side is a new woman who stood by him during all those tough years. A woman who, as he himself points out, gave her youth to him, staying by his side when he had nothing but empty promises and the hope of better.
All right, to all my guys that have game, no matter how much game you have, game only works on broken women, women that grew up without men in their lives at all. Fat women, single mothers. That's what game attracts women, but it doesn't keep them. Because once you game these women up and tell them and lie about all this bullshit, a lot of you guys fail to come through with what you was throwing at her in the first place. Yeah, you had game, but you had no resources or anything to keep a reason to keep her, for her to stick with you. You have no money, you have no stable job, but you have all this game. Having game doesn't pay bills. Having game doesn't provide for a family. So, what was he spitting?
Days. A woman who stuck around while his ex ran off without a word. Don't you have any shame? He asks, with a wry smile of someone who's seen enough drama films to know how the plot goes. When I was broke, you left me. Now that I have something, you come back. Is that possible? He doesn't need more words. The look of disdain on his face says it all. The tension heightens when the ex-wife, full of demands and the arrogance of someone who thinks life is about pressuring others, threatens not to leave the house. She promises to disturb his peace until she gets what she wants. But he, already done with it all, stands his ground. Is the money just going to fall from the sky? He asks sarcastically, clearly exhausted by the endless demands. He had already given everything he could when they separated. Even when he had nothing, he gave what he had, but it wasn't enough for her.
Of course
the
not.
scene ends with him, unyielding, reaffirming his stance. There's no easy money, no going back, and above all, no forgiveness for someone who abandoned him in the toughest moments of his life. This story isn't just about old grudges, bad choices, and their consequences.
I was waiting for this. Anyway, this is why more and more people think that marriage is for rich people. Because people that have money, even when they go through divorces and breakups, usually it doesn't get physical outside with somebody else. Because the rich person usually has an abundance of women throwing themselves at them. So most guys with money and resources aren't even going to go through shit like this outside.
It's a painful lesson about loyalty and betrayal, and how money, that disguised villain, can reveal people's true character both in its absence and when it appears in abundance. The most ironic thing about all this, in the end, he learned what really matters, the ones who stayed by his side when he had nothing.
That's
告
sad.
诉你们，兄弟们，有钱是不值。
Let me tell you something, guys. Having money doesn't mean you won't have women around, but the better the car you drive and the more you display your supposed financial strength to women, the higher the cost of interacting with them, and the harder it becomes to find true love. Nowadays, women are very clever. When you show that you're rich, that you drive an expensive car, and live in a luxurious place, they will try to find ways to tie themselves to you, hoping that you'll provide them with material value for a long time.
And your dumb ass will get her pregnant. Game over. Half of your assets is going to her. Good luck.
At this point, the only currency they have to trade with is their body. And with that, they'll try to get everything they want from you. Now I ask you, will they easily let you get what you want? On the contrary, a truly good woman, upon seeing that you display so much value, will have self-awareness. She won't dream of having a long-term relationship with you. Instead, she'll think you're just interested in her body and that the relationship will be brief.
Transactional. This is why you high caliber men need to deal with women that are on the same level as you. Above average. But a lot of you guys deal with strags. A lot of you guys deal with bum ass females, which is why you guys get in this position in the first place. You came up on the ladder, you built yourself up, but you still want to deal with women that you grew up with and came from. What I mean is, let's say you grew up in a bad area, you grew up around a lot of trashy women, and those are the women that you'll still deal with as you're climbing the corporate ladder or whatever you do for a living to make yourself high value and have a lot of resources. You still messing with those same women. Instead, you should have been messing with the women that you do business with. Well, they say don't mix business with pleasure, but those women will be better options anyway because they're high above average, like you. I mean, that doesn't mean things are going to work out better in the long run per se, but it should be less toxic if you think about it. They're not using you for money because you guys both have money. So what, you guys are going to use each other for money? You can't. You guys are both well off. You guys don't need each other. You just happen to like and possibly love each other and want to build something with each other. But if it doesn't work out, you guys are still well off.
At this moment, women become very cautious and will likely reject you. So guys, stop saying, "Look at that guy driving a nice car. He seems to have an amazing life." In reality, he probably doesn't have true love. Let me give you an example from my own life. In the past, I, Professor Huang, was just a simple employee at a multinational company, driving an old Toyota. I earned about 10,000 yuan a month, and honestly, many women were interested in me for who I was. They were willing to invest in me, and some even wanted to have children with me. But after more than 10 years, when I started my own company, made money, and began driving better cars, things changed. I'd bring women to my house, talk about life plans, share my love for painting, photography, and art. And you know what they said? "Ah, you talk too much. My head can't absorb all of this. Studying these things is too tiring." I realized that what they really cared about wasn't what I knew or loved. What mattered to them was what I was going to buy them the next day, where I would take them shopping, and how much I would spend. They didn't care about who I was. So, guys, while you envy others, know that they might also be envying you. Today, I, Professor Huang, want to say, all men, if you really make money, it's better to spend it traveling the world than to waste it randomly on women. Don't over-exhibit your financial value. If you spend money on women without heart, you're just funding someone else's wife. Everyone thinks that having money means there's no shortage of women. But you need to understand that the kind of person money attracts might not be what you desire. As they say, with money, even ghosts will work for you. But think about it. What is attracted by money will eventually be taken away by money. So, remember the words of Professor Huang. If you want to show that you're rich and dream of one day making a lot of money to have beautiful women around you and emotional freedom, you'll just become the target of gold diggers and opportunistic women.
Yeah. So there's a lot of guys that brag about the companies and businesses that they're sold, and you're taking like private trips on planes and everything, and traveling a lot for what you do for work. So that right there, you're already putting yourself out there to the wolves. You don't tell women that shit. A lot of you guys are goofy. So it's like, I don't even feel bad for these guys really, because like he said, they talk too damn much. You be telling all your resources, how much money you be making and everything. Clowns. Clown shit.
We work hard to make money and improve constantly, not to attract a bunch of trash, but to become stronger, more mentally stable, more attractive, more competitive in society, and full of masculinity. Remember, if you want true love, money should be your foundation of confidence, not a tool to attract women.
The reality is that the more money you have, the harder it is to find true love.
Say it again. The more money you have, the harder it is to find somebody that's going to truly be into you like that. Like what he's saying, well, just like the Professor Huang said, if they don't care about your hobbies or who you are as a person, they're just trying to see what they can get out of you. In other words, they do not care about you. It's kind of like the organization you work for. They don't care about you. They only care about what value you bring to the company or to the facility or to the warehouse, whatever the hell you do. But anyway.
This is an absolute truth. Guys, don't envy those driving luxury cars. 7 years ago, when I was starting my business, I was making just a few thousand a month and working non-stop. Back then, my girlfriend treated me really well. She cared a lot about me, always asking if I was too tired from work.
Aww.
When I worked late, sometimes until 3 a.m., she would come to my office, keep me company, and bring me some good chicken soup.
Was that all she did? I mean, nah, I ain't gonna go there.
I would take her to eat something simple, and we were both happy and content. It was a great time. 3 years ago, when I managed to make my 3 businesses successful, I changed cars, getting a McLaren and then a Lamborghini.
Oh,
That's
boy.
when the women started to show up. But most of them wanted me to buy things for them, take them abroad for trips. One time, I invited a girl to a street barbecue stand. She looked at my $1 million car and said, "You have a car like that and you're taking me to eat street barbecue."
Goodbye. Those of you, okay, first of all, if you under 35, you shouldn't even be watching my video reactions in the first place. Simply because a lot of you have a short attention span and only watch the first 2 minutes of the video. And you have the young know-it-alls under 30 thinking they know every damn thing. And these are the same guys that live at home with their mama or other family relatives, cousins, brothers, sisters, whatever. No life experience. Ain't never been on their own. Ain't never traveled abroad. Just shut the hell up. Y'all goofy as hell getting in the comment section talking about game. You idiot. If you get in the comment section talking about game and everything, I could pretty much tell how old you are just by reading the comments that y'all leave in the section. To mind you, I don't read a lot of the comments, but sometimes I see them occasionally. And I'm like, look at this person. No life experience. So, here in the West, you're heavily criticized by what you push, what you drive. Honda Accord, you're a normie. You work a job you hate. Mercedes, BMW, you probably work in the medical field. McLarens and everything else, you're probably some kind of executive and take overseas trips and everything. What are you about? And see, the area I live in, I see exotic cars all the time. That's neither here nor there. So this isn't exciting to me. I already know this game. People that drive exotic cars, that doesn't mean shit. Because I live in a top tier area, so it's really nothing to me.
She had such a superficial attitude. Right then, I got annoyed and left her by the street,
Good.
walking away without even looking back. Sometimes, trying to impress a woman with your cooking skills doesn't work.
Nope.
She won't care about what you can do. What she wants to know is what you'll buy for her tomorrow, if you'll take her to shop for luxury brands, how much you can spend on her card. She won't care about what you have or what talents you possess. So, after that, I started focusing on improving my appearance, going to the gym, and developing different skills. And when I went on dates, I never used a luxury car again. And I realized that, in the end, I went back to where I was before. But this time, women were willing to spend money on me. So, guys, what matters is improving your own attractiveness, developing your qualities and talents, so that women begin to appreciate you. It's not about showing off what you have in front of them.
Yeah.
越不会考虑大男生女呢。
Why is it that the wealthier the man, the less likely he is to consider older women when choosing a partner?
Oh boy.
The reason is simple. 3 words, no value. When men choose a partner, the main aspects they consider are looks, body, and reproductive value and ability. And these 2 aspects are clearly disadvantages for older women, as they have no advantages in these areas.
And mind you, a lot of these older women probably don't even want children. So the group of women that he's aiming towards is probably 40 plus or even 35 and plus. Because to be honest with you, a lot of guys, successful guys, some of them end up having kids or starting family at a later age. And they don't want to do that with women that are almost 40 years old. So it's not even nothing to be offensive about. It's just being real. It's like, okay, the goal is to find somebody to have kids with in their 20s. And, you know, they're highly fertile then. So that's where he's getting at.
First, in terms of looks and body, a woman in her 30s is certainly not going to be as attractive as when she was in her 20s.
Not true.
And she won't have the same charm that she did in her 20s, right? Her belly starts to become loose, her eyes aren't as clear as before. They start to become cloudy, wrinkles and spots begin to appear on her face. Her body starts to gain weight, and sometimes it even loses shape. She no longer has that youthful energy of a woman in her 20s.
Is he talking about American women or is he talking about women in China? He's describing American women. He must be from the hood. All right.
And even starts to snore, grind her teeth, and talk in her sleep.
This guy really went in on it though. I haven't heard anybody else go in on older people like that, but damn, okay.
How could a wealthy man be interested in such a woman? It's clearly unrealistic. The second point is reproductive value and ability. Older women have clearly become high-risk pregnancies. Good reproduction and child rearing are certainly not connected to them, right? First, there's the question of whether they can even have children. Secondly, there's the risk during childbirth. Will the man have to choose between saving the mother or the baby? This decision is too cruel for any man, and no one would want to endure it, and not even mentally. Morally, there would also be a huge pressure. The third point is whether the child born would be healthy. These are things men cannot avoid considering, right? Currently, a popular term online is water and power shutoff, and if you don't know what it means, you can search it online. It's quite interesting and amusing.
I don't even know what that means, and I'm gonna look it up.
Furthermore, in our traditional mindset, if the conditions allow, who wouldn't want to have more children, right? Now that the policy allows for 2 or 3 children, if someone is very wealthy, has multiple houses, and knows how to make money, who wouldn't want to have more children? But older women clearly cannot meet these needs of men. As mentioned earlier, even having one child is already risky and uncertain, let alone having a second or third child.
Well, I mean, let's be real. Most highly successful guys like that aren't having kids like that. Let's just be real. Most successful guys are not even really having kids like the less fortunate people are. Let's just be real. I mean, there's women out here with like 5, 10 kids and they never even had a job. So,
additionally, older women have other issues, such as temperament, personality, and mentality. Overall, they don't have the same health or posture as a young woman in her 20s. This is why wealthy men, when choosing a partner, prefer not to choose older women. Well, that's all for today. Bye.
Yeah, because you know about to get cussed out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. This is a very interesting video. And once more, always have fun doing this. Like I said, shout out to all Asian Dilemmas. We love these reaction reviews. And I'll catch you on the next video. Happy hump day. Peace.